What's going on, everyone? In today's video, we're going to be looking at rehab exercises for elbow pain conditions related to pickleball. So if you've got pain on the outside of your elbow or the inside of your elbow or even wrist pain related to pickleball, you're going to want to stay tuned for today's exercises. Pickleball is actually quite similar to tennis in that the racket puts a lot of stress through our wrist, elbow, and shoulder. Because the serve is underhand, we don't see as many rotator cuff issues, but we still see quite a few issues related to the wrist muscles which attach up at the elbow. So we'll see conditions that we used to call tennis elbow and golfer's elbow. Now there's even just a pickleball elbow because so many people are playing this and having tendon disorders at their elbow. So what we want to do is we're going to look at 4 exercises that will strengthen the tendons that attach at the elbow and can help reduce pain if you have some going on now. So you're going to need a dumbbell. I've got a 5-pound dumbbell here. You want something that's challenging and creates no more than mild pain. So for the first exercise, we're going to work our wrist extensors. These are the muscles that lift our wrist into extension. Those muscles run through the top side of our forearm and their tendon attaches on the outside of the elbow. This is what's traditionally called tennis elbow. So to strengthen these muscles, you're going to take that dumbbell, set your arm up so that your wrist is off the edge of a table or some other surface, and then you're going to allow the weight to go down slowly, bringing the wrist into flexion, and then we're going to use those wrist extensors to pull the weight up through full wrist extension range of motion, which is going to strengthen our wrist extensors and their tendon up on the lateral side of the elbow. Then go back down through a slow eccentric and then repeat. For all of these exercises, you're going to do 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions every day or every other day. The key thing is to find a weight that's challenging, but again, creates no more than mild to moderate pain, so around that 3 to 4 out of 10 range. Okay, so this is our first exercise, a wrist extensor curl. For the second exercise, you are going to flip your wrist over. So we're just going to flip everything over 180 degrees so that our palm is up. Again, you're going to take the dumbbell, and this time we're going to strengthen the wrist flexors. So now I'm going to allow gravity and the weight to slowly move my wrist into extension. Those wrist flexors are contracting eccentrically to allow that downward movement. And then I'm going to squeeze my wrist flexors to bring the weight up through full wrist flexion range of motion, which is going to strengthen the wrist flexors and their tendon on the inside of the elbow. So again, you're looking at going for 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions, basically just going until you're tired. If you can go past 15 repetitions and it's very easy, then you need to bump your weight up. Again, paying attention to any pain that you have during the exercise. The key thing I tell people, again, is okay to have mild to moderate discomfort during the exercise. If your pain is worse the next morning after the exercise session, then you probably need to drop the weight or do less repetitions. Okay, so that is our second exercise, a wrist flexor curl. Before I get into the next exercise, just want to mention that my rehab book is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It has rehab programs for the most common injuries and pain issues. Each body region has its own chapter. Today we're talking about elbow pain related to pickleball. If we go back to the elbow chapter, we will see a tennis elbow program and a golfer's elbow program. The exercises in these programs will also help if you have pain from pickleball. So the programs will all take you through 3 phases. They have pictures of me doing the exercises and are more comprehensive than what you'll find in my YouTube videos. So if you'd like to have a resource at home that allows you to do your own rehab, I'll put a link for my book down in the description. For the third exercise, we're going to go back to training the outside of the elbow. This time we're going to be strengthening our supinator muscle, which is one of the muscles that rotates our forearm. Obviously, when you're putting spin on the racket, you're going to use your pronator and supinator muscles as you rotate the forearm. So for the supinator muscle, I'm going to take my dumbbell again. This time I'm going to hold way down at the end of it. Okay, so I'm going to start here in this neutral position. First, I'm going to allow the weight to slowly move my wrist and forearm into pronation. My supinator has to contract eccentrically to control that movement. I'm going to go to where my palm is parallel at the ground, and then I'm going to contract my supinator muscle to rotate the dumbbell back up to vertical. So I'm just going from vertical back to down to parallel with the ground and back up. Again, looking at that 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions, moving really nice and slow. Okay, so this is the third exercise, a supinator curl for pain on the outside of the elbow. The last exercise here is going to be basically the opposite of the one we just did. So now we'll switch over to the anterior side of the forearm and work the pronator muscles. We've got a muscle called pronator quadratus down by the wrist and the one called pronator teres up by the elbow that attaches on the inside of the elbow. So again, I want to hold the end of the dumbbell, and this time I'm going to start neutral but then rotate over so that my palm is facing up. Pronator teres, the two pronators are really going to work here eccentrically to control this movement. When I get to where the weight is pretty much parallel with the ground or my palm is facing the ceiling, then I'll contract those pronator muscles to rotate the dumbbell back to a vertical position. So again, just rotating down. It's really key to go slow on the eccentric here. And again, to pick a weight that's challenging. If you get to 15 reps and it's just easy and you're not that tired, then you've got to bump the weight up. Okay, again, 3 sets of around 15 reps to strengthen your pronator muscles. All right, guys, those are 4 exercises that are going to help with elbow pain, whether it's on the outside of your elbow or your inside of your elbow. Try to do these every day or every other day. If it's a day where you're playing pickleball, maybe then don't do these exercises on that day because you're already putting a lot of stress on the tendons. Often it's good to do strengthening exercises like this on the days you're not playing pickleball. So I hope these are helpful to you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments section and I will see you in the next video. Bye.